Hi everybody, this is Doreen from Privies and Prims. Want to welcome you to my channel. For everybody that's new, thank you for stopping by, and all my new subscribers, thank you so much for hitting that button. And all those returning viewers, thanks for staying with me. Today I'm going to mostly show you, I'm going to take all this, see the bunny's still there, so I'm going to take the spring stuff down that's all on that cabinet and then put my summer stuff up. I have a special guest today. Do you see? That is Leonardo. He's my grand dog. He's a Cavapoo, and his parents are visiting for the weekend, but they just left to go to the Biltmore House in Asheville, North Carolina. So I have him for the day. So he's a pretty good dog. He's quiet, and we'll have a good time together. So he's making a cameo appearance here. And my son said I need to give him like royalty rights, you know. So a very, very little cross stitch to show you today. It's mostly going to be about switching out my spring to summer decor, and then I have at the end I will show you the bags that I have available in my Etsy shop. I just put some on last night, and I want to show you first. Well, I'll show that with the bags. Okay, so the only bit of cross stitch I have, it's last time I showed you this bag that I made with the sheep to match this that was gifted to me. And in case you're new and you weren't here, I will show this again. So this was sent to me, and then I found out where she got the fabric, and I ordered some to make the project bag to match. Now this is the inside, and it has a zipper pouch here. This I use as a thread bed and put my needles, and then this is a pin cushion. But I don't want to just put my needles there when I'm traveling because they would get down in there and get lost. I did want to show you, this is going to be my next project. I have not stitched one single stitch since my last floss tube. I've been working on project bags. So this is the next thing I'm going to start. It's Teresa Kogut, and that's a working copy. But I did want to show you, I showed you the linen last time. This is Cocoa by Weeks Dye Works, and I did want to show you that I pulled all of the threads for it because I am substituting threads because most of them I did not have, and I didn't want to have to go out and buy more. So this is what I have. Let me see if I can hold these up without them falling. So I think they're going to match really good. It's very limited colors. There's not a lot. This... Let me see. So last time it didn't show up real good, but I think maybe, yeah, there's clear. So that, I think that's clear. That's what I'm using instead of the ones that it's called for. So I'm really excited to do that because I love, you know, all these neutral threads. So that is actually the only cross stitch I have to show you. Because I've been just working on bags, which I need to remedy that. I said I was going to, right? I said I was going to discipline myself, but I haven't done it yet. Also, last time I showed you the labels that I was going to make, and I did make them and they did work. So this is what I printed out, and a couple people on Facebook asked me to do a tutorial, which I will try to do soon. And then these were just printed with the white background, but when I do a dark fabric like this one, I would coffee stain. That's coffee stained so that it blends in better. Well, I printed a sheet with the tan background, and now they don't have to be coffee stained. So this is just one. I have them all cut in a little baggie, but these were not all cut yet. So I get 80 to a sheet, and there's 5 sheets in a pack, which was, I think, $16 for the pack. Let me get that package and I'll show it to you. Look at that good little boy just lying there. He's so good. So this is what I used. And I got them on Amazon, and I will put the link down in the description. They are printable fabric sheets. They're not transfer sheets. They're printable fabric sheets. So you don't have to flip the design. You just print it. You know, I designed it, and I'll have to show all that in the tutorial. So now I'm going to go to my summer decor. And if you were here last summer, you've already seen all this. And I apologize for that, but I know I've had a lot of new subscribers since then. So, and I'm going to try to remember where everything came from. This and this flag got kind of bent back. It's like starched. I'm not sure if this is handmade or commercially produced. It doesn't have any labels on it or anything. It's stitched back here, which makes me kind of think it's homemade, but I don't really know. Anyway, so that guy, I don't even remember where I got him. This is one of my favorites. I think, and I don't usually put glass in them, but this one has glass, obviously. I think this is Plum Street Samplers. And I'll have to look it up. I'm thinking it's Summer on the Hill or something. And that was, I normally do thrift store frames, but this is a Hobby Lobby frame. And it's got, I don't really usually like that much space around it, but otherwise it fit. I mean, the color was right and everything, so I got that. This one, it's like right on the tip of my tongue, the designer. Anyway, this is a basket I got at a thrift store, and I just put like a wash on it to tone it down some, and then put the pip berries in it. This is hot glued to it, and also like hot glue is for instant hold, and then there's Aleene's tacky glue underneath it. And then I just took some yarn and twisted it to put around the edge so you don't see the edge. It's like, I can picture the pattern, but I can't remember the name, but I'll get it for you. And I will put it across the screen. I'm at this little table, so I have to lean down to put everything on the floor when I'm done. This is the Humble Stitcher that I did a few years ago. And then that's how I did the back, and people always say it looks like a Band-Aid. I love this blue fabric. And that's just a piece of wool, and then I put my iron-on label on that, and that's a coffee-stained one, and that's from Ever Emblem. So if you don't want to make your own, that's where I was buying them from, everemblem.com. And this one I think is also the Humble Stitcher. And this is rag stuffed, so the shape of it's a little off. It's like lumpy and bumpy. But I loved the colors of this. And there's another Band-Aid on the back. And that is, it looks like just a piece of prairie cloth. And then I did the iron-on label. There's that one. Super prim. I'm not sure if they were called for colors or not. And this one, I don't remember the designer name for this one either. It says Liberty. Actually, I think it's the same as the one on the basket, but I'm not absolutely sure. But I will find out and put it across the bottom. Oh, and there's how I did the back of that one. I'd love to find some more of this fabric. It's like Patriotic. It's got little stars on it. You see? And that's a piece of red wool, and then my iron-on label. And the rickrack. I get my rickrack, my trims from Purple Paper Mountain on Etsy. And this cute little strawberry, somebody gave me at the retreat last year. The theme was patriotic at my cross stitch retreat that I host. And she made these and then went around with a basket, and everybody got to pick one. Really cute. And this is just felt. It might be wool. I think the red is wool and the tan is felt, and then she sewed a button on there. But they would be super easy to make for little table gifts. This one is Not Forgotten Farm. And this easel came from Dollar Tree. And I don't know if I stitched this last year or the year before. So I don't know if these are still available this year. And then the tin stars I got from a wholesale place when I lived in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And then I put it on a piece of wool to fill up the space. And that is from Not Forgotten Farm. And this looks like Osnaburg. I stitched it on Osnaburg, coffee stained Osnaburg. This, I think, is the Old Tattered Flag. I think it was a freebie. She calls them doodles. I think that's just a doodle from the Old Tattered Flag. And this is a thrift store frame, and I just put it in there. And I probably painted that. Yeah, I can tell because the back right here. I painted the frame to match, and then I antique them. I really don't like to use the frames that are just the natural wood, like stained wood. I like painted. And I like to pull one of the colors from the stitching and then use that for the paint color. This is also Old Tattered Flag, and this is a punch needle embroidery, which I used to do a lot. Sadly, I don't do it anymore. It would be great if I get back to it. But if you are interested in punch needle embroidery, there are about 2 or 3 years of, probably at least 3 years, of punch needle videos on my channel. And if you just go to the homepage for my channel and then look at the playlists, and there's a playlist for wool applique, and there's a playlist for punch needle, but there's also a playlist for punch needle tutorials. So if that's what you're looking for, go there. The horn book, these are called horn books. I used to cut these by the tons during COVID. So that's probably when this was punched. And I sold crazy amount of them on Etsy. And then as soon as the stores opened back up, the sales just stopped. So, and then I moved. So I haven't made them since then. And I moved in May of 21. So that's the last I made these. And I've considered starting to make some again, but it's a dirty job. And I mean, I have my dad's workshop here. I could do it in maybe now that it's getting warmer, because I do have some boards. But anyway, that is the Old Tattered Flag. And again, I picked a color from the stitch to paint this. And then it's antiqued. And the back is just black. It makes me want to do punch needle again. This is Not Forgotten Farm. This was my first strawberry. It might have been my only strawberry, I think. I think it's my only one. Anyway, I love this one. The only thing I don't like about strawberries is when you display it, you can't see like the whole design. But this one doesn't have anything back here. So it's kind of easier to display it and see everything. So there it is close up. And this is, oh, it's got a fuzzy on it. It looks like a linen, like a coffee stained linen, but I don't know what it is. And then that's how I did the top. I took some of this little chenille from Purple Paper Mountain. It's actually a bow. It's a little messy. And then a piece of wool and some old buttons I had, and I just did a blanket stitch going around. So I love that piece. These are my colors. I always, you know, as far as my favorite color, I do like olive green. I wear a lot of olive green, and my eye gravitates to olive green. But if you ask me what my colors are, I'm going to say a tea-stained flag. Those are my colors. So this is it right here. Those are my favorite colors, the coffee or tea-stained flag. This was a gift to me at one of my retreats. It was a hostess gift that somebody gave me, and it feels like it's got walnut shells and fiberfill in it. And I don't know the maker, the designer of this one. And then she did the back. So cute. I love that. This is Teresa Kogut fabric that I made project bag out of. In fact, I have it. I'm not sure if it's the same one, but let me look. No, the one I did has a red background, but it has these little circles and stuff on it. And this is something I made long ago when I used to make primitive dolls. Her hair is real sheep's wool. It's just raw sheep's wool. And that's the back. I just did like a running stitch around some heavy cotton and coffee stained it. And this is actually painted on. And her lips and eyes are like a satin stitch. And then the nose is sculpted with needle and thread. And that's just a little ornament. This one is a Teresa Kogut design. It was a Patreon ornament that you could buy for $5. And now she has released the pattern to the public. So this one is coffee stained. And I made, I'm not sure what that linen is, but I made one of these for a swap for a smalls exchange too. And that's how I did the back. It's like pennies and that are blanket stitched on. Let me see if I can get you close up there. I like, you know, sometimes I think instead of doing all the seasonal stuff, do I just put something out and leave it out there? But I love bringing these out once a year. It's like Christmas once a year, you know, because you forget you have this stuff. This one is, I don't remember the designer of this one. Maybe I should put labels on them. This is an old grater from antique store, and then I just put berries in the top, which come out in the bottom. But when, of course, when it's sitting, now they're not going to go back up. When it's sitting on a shelf, of course, they're not going to come out. I think this is the same designer as the other two that I don't remember the name of. So I'm going to have to put it across the bottom here. But this is, it looks like Osnaburg that I stitched it on. And then I used the Paper Mountain chenille trim around the edge. That's, I like stuff with sheep. Not so much, like if you see that sheep is not a cutesy sheep. That sheep is more prim sheep. That's the ones I like. Now, this was, I think, Heart and Hand. I'll have to look it up, but they're supposed to be like little scissor fobs, and I just did it like this, and it's not even glued in there or anything. The frame, the glass is just holding it in there. And I just put a piece of scrap fabric that I had behind it. Now that's stitched on Osnaburg, and it's a good example. It's supposed to be square. I'm trying to not get the glare on it. It's supposed to be square, but as you see, it comes out rectangle. That's because Osnaburg is 36 count one way and 40 count the other way. If I can get that without a glare on it. Let me see. This is a simple little frame from a thrift store. It just has the one, okay. Here we go. I can see it without the glare. So that's all just, like I said, it's just laying on there. And then I just place it back in, and the glass will hold it in place. This one is a threads that bind pattern. And that's another horn book that I made. You see, that's a really thin one. There's one right back here that's the same pattern. I'm going to get that and show it to you. So when we had the my retreat that the theme was patriotic, we have a small swap all the time. And this is what I got. Oops, sorry about that. This is what I got. And I think that my friend Candy made this. I know it was one of the, as I call them, the Virginia girls. And I think it was Candy. And she made this, and it's different than mine. And then I put them, you can see both. So I put them in different rooms. So it doesn't matter that I have two because they're done differently. But that is Punchneedle, and it is a threads that bind pattern. So hers is really thick. She may have put something under there, I'm not sure. But that's the two side by side. This one is a Teresa Kogut Punchneedle on another horn book that I made. If you get the horn books, I know there's people that sell them on Etsy, and that's more trim from Purple Paper Mountain. Or no, I think actually that's just yarn that I got, a thing of yarn, chenille yarn, and just put it around there. It's a simple finish to put it on the horn book, and I do have a video tutorial showing how to do that, and you'll find that on the playlist for Punchneedle. And the last one is also Old Tattered Flag. And I think this is also, it's Punchneedle, but I think this was another doodle that she did that was a freebie. So it's made kind of like penny rugs here on the side. I really should do some more Punchneedle. Just another thin horn book. I'll tell you, I sold so many. And I pre-made them, and then I just would put them on there on Etsy all individually, and then people would buy whatever they wanted, and I guess they just fit their design to fit that board. And I did a big Teresa Kogut one. I'm trying to think if, I don't know if I have it or I sold them. It's got like a village all the way around it. And I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if I kept them or if I sold them, but I had boards that were made specific for that pattern. I'll have to look for that because I don't know if I sold it. So anyway, that's it for the stitching. If you're not interested in the project bags, thanks for watching. Actually, it wasn't stitching, was it? It was just a show and tell. So I'm going to get all this other stuff taken out, put this stuff up, and then I will get a picture of the display, which, you know, I don't do anything fancy. It just, I have that one cabinet and then on top of a little thing over here, and that's really all I have for display. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I am less than 100 from 6,000, and when we get to 6,000, we're doing giveaways. I've got punch needle patterns, wool applique patterns, and cross stitch patterns to give away. So as onto the project bags. So I wanted to show you, I got some, on my Facebook page, if you go there, you can follow me on Privies and Prims, and I post every day. And I did put like some fabrics that I got last week and said, which one is your favorite? Mark it with a heart. And this one got the most hearts. And I only had a yard of it because I had bought it on Etsy, and that was the end of it. They only had 1 yard left. Well, I found this on a site called, is it Mercati or Macari? I had never heard of it before. It's an out of print fabric, and this is only 2/3 of a yard. So that's all the wider it is. And then of course it's folded vertically. So this will be project bags. And I did find some other on another site that I'm going to see if I can still get it. I've never made a project bag yet with like the border type print like this. So I guess you just kind of fussy cut it so that you're not cutting the houses off. I have to try that. Maybe today I'll try that. And then I sold a bag this morning that I had posted in my little reel of what was available. I sold it this morning, but I have this cut out to make another one. So this would be, this is all I have left of this fabric. This would be the inside of the bag. So this is for a Notions bag. And then that is the outside fabric. It's got birds in there if you look, and then there's pomegranates. So that is one that I'm going to work on today because I've got it all ready to go. And that's what I do when I can't sleep. We had a wicked storm the other night. The night that the tornadoes went through Kentucky, we had, it was actually early yesterday morning. It started at 3:45. And we had hail that on this tin roof, it sounded like there was a war up there. And it was like golf ball size hail from what I hear. But I couldn't sleep, of course, during the storm. So I got up and cut these bags out. So now I'm going to show you, these are the bags that are in my Etsy shop at the time of filming. They may be sold before you get there. And this one is not new. It's been on there, but it's a Patriotic that I got at a store. And the inside is a white on white. It's got little flowers on it. And then this is Teresa Kogut fabric. And I showed this one on the last video. These two, I did look and they are in someone's carts, but they have not purchased them yet. So those were on there last week also. Okay, so yesterday I put 10 new bags on. So I was trying to use up the end of the fabrics. This is this sunflower. So this one has a Notions bag. Because this is the end of the fabric, I don't have any thread beds or anything or a Notions bag to go with this one. That's it. That's the end of the fabrics. So those are on Etsy. And this is the new label with the tan background. So you can see if I had put a white one on there, it would have really stood out. And then I have Teresa Kogut Patriotic fabric. And I went up and used the whole yard of this because I'm thinking this is better for storage, you know, just use it all and then move on to the next one. So this is Teresa Kogut Patriotic fabric. And there's 4 of these on there. So this one has a project bag. Project bag and Notions bag. So that's the inside fabric I was talking about with the circles. Mine had a red background. This one is just a project bag. It's square. And someone did say that this was good, like for the Mill Hill kits. That's what she wanted hers for. Another project bag. And then this is a 3-piece set. Now, I put a note on there. Let me show you. This is the thread bed, and it opens this way because that's the piece of fabric I had left. And that's the inside, so it's got a piece of wool for your needles. And once it's open, I mean, you can turn it any way you want. Just that's the fabric is that way. So it's in the Notions bag. I was folding this up to create the binding, and I noticed that right here there was a little slit, and it's probably when I cut the fabric with the rotary cutter, I cut like this to make the rectangle, and I probably went over a little bit and then used that piece of fabric for this and didn't realize that it had that slit in it. So it's a really tiny little slit, but I just want to point it out. And what I did, it's right here in front of my finger. I did a really small, it's hard to see even because it's on navy, so that's good. But I did a really small zigzag on it. So it's, you know, it's not going to fray. It's not going to go anywhere. You can see it right here. And I did a close-up on the Etsy shop pictures, so you can see it. But I took $3 off because of that. So you basically get this for free. Just because I don't want to try to hide it from anybody. That's just how I am. So I did point it out on there and did a circle on the picture and everything to show you where it's at. So just be aware of that if that's the one you want, the 3-piece set. There is the other one. This one has the Notions bag, but doesn't have the thread bed. And this was a little piece of fabric I had. So I made a small one again. I was told these are good for Mill Hill kits. Or, you know, like a little small pattern that you're doing. Now there's the white label. I probably should have used the dark one on that. But I like this fabric. I don't know how long I've had it. I don't know what it's called or where it came from, but that's all I had left. So I made that. And this also, I'm not sure where this fabric came from. So these are both 3-piece sets. This is all the fabric I had. So this thread bed is made out of, I'm calling it Funky Flowers. I don't really know what else to call it. It kind of reminds me of like the 70s vibe. And then the inside has green and white polka dots on it. And then this one, the thread bed is made out of the inside fabric. Just so I could still give you a 3-piece set. So those are it. So that is it for today. That's what I have. You got to visit with Leonardo. And I will see you on the next video. And I may have some news of an upcoming trip. I'm still working that out, but give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. Help me to get to that 6,000 so we can do a giveaway, and I will see you on the next video. Bye. I forgot I wanted to update you on my poison ivy. Thank you for all the comments on Facebook and on YouTube. I went to urgent care yesterday because I kept thinking it was going to get better, but then I kept getting new spots come up and I would wake up with just horrible itching. So I went to urgent care yesterday and they gave me a shot, steroid shot. And then she also gave me some pills for the oral steroids. but she said don't take them. So today's Sunday, and she said don't take them until Tuesday, and only if you have to, because she thinks the shot will take care of it. So I did fill the prescription for the pills, and I'll keep that on hand, but it is getting better. And the itching is today down to like a 1 or 2 on a scale of 10, which yesterday morning it was 10. And, you know, all day, every day, it was really high itching. So it's much, much better. And I did Google it, and it said, you know, it doesn't like happen overnight. It sometimes takes a couple days for it to be completely gone. So that's it. I'm getting better. I'm on the mend. So thank you for all those well-wishing comments and suggestions. I did get the Techno, the scrub, and I used that exfoliating scrub. So I will talk to you next time. Bye.